Today, we're going to dive into a nonprofit called AmpleHarvest.org and their incredibly clever tech-based solution to two massive problems: food waste and, you guessed it, hunger. And it all starts in a place you might not expect. So let me just start with a big question. What if the solution to hunger in America isn't about inventing something totally new, but about connecting a resource that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time? And that resource we're talking about, well, it is absolutely massive. Every single year, America's home and community gardeners produce a surplus of over, get this, 11 times billion pounds of fresh food. That's just an unbelievable amount of produce that, way too often, goes to waste. And that, right there, brings us to the central paradox that AmpleHarvest.org was created to solve. They call it the hidden harvest. Okay, so here's the disconnect. On one side, you've got 62 million really passionate gardeners. You know the type, they just hate seeing their extra zucchini or tomatoes go to waste. But on the other side, in the exact same towns, you've got families who desperately need fresh, healthy food. It's like they were two sides of the same coin, just waiting for someone to connect them. So how do you actually bridge that gap? Well, the solution is, honestly, just brilliantly simple. The best way to think about it is like an Uber for food. See, AmpleHarvest.org isn't a food bank. They don't have any trucks, they don't have warehouses. What they are is a smart, tech-driven information broker. Their entire mission is to make one simple connection, linking a gardener with way too much food to a local pantry that really, really needs it. And this quote just nails it. Uber doesn't own a fleet of cars, right? It just connects drivers with riders. Well, in the exact same way, AmpleHarvest.org provides the platform to connect growers with pantries. It's a completely logistics-free solution. For a gardener, the process couldn't be easier. You've got extra tomatoes, you just hop on AmpleHarvest.org, you find a nearby pantry that's registered, and you drop them off. That is it. So direct and so effective. Now, let's really look at how this one simple idea completely turns the traditional model of food charity on its head. And here's where you really see the difference. The traditional model, it's so heavy on logistics. We're talking trucks, huge warehouses, refrigeration, and it's all built for processed goods. But the AmpleHarvest.org model, it's just information. The food is always fresh, it's transported by the gardener themselves, and it goes directly from their garden into the hands of someone in their community. I mean, this is the old way, right? It's a system we definitely need, but it was built around cans and boxes, things that can survive being stored for a long time and shipped across the country. It was never designed to handle a handful of fresh zucchini from your neighbor's garden. And this is the new way. Look at that. Vibrant, nutritious food traveling maybe just a few miles, and it's often eaten within hours of being picked. It totally flattens the supply chain. It's a straight line from the source to those who need it. And this is what makes the model so radically efficient. Because it's just an information platform, it completely strips away all the major costs. The food itself is free. The shipping is free. The gardener does it. Refrigeration isn't needed. And there's no local brick-and-mortar overhead. It's pure efficiency. So this model is incredibly adaptable. In fact, it was put to the ultimate test, reaching communities that traditional systems often miss. Let's take a look at the amazing work being done in Indian country. So when AmpleHarvest.org looked at their own national map, they saw a problem. There were these huge gaps in their network. And a lot of those gaps, these underserved regions, were on tribal lands. They realized they were unintentionally missing entire communities. And you have to understand, the stakes here are incredibly high. Native American families face food insecurity at 4 times the rate of other households. Access to fresh food in these communities isn't a luxury. It is a critical health issue. But then, they found something just incredible in the data. According to the National Gardening Survey, Native American households actually participate in vegetable gardening at a higher rate than any other demographic. Think about that. The community with the greatest need also had the greatest potential resource. It was this perfect, untapped opportunity. So the potential was clearly there. But to make it work, they really had to listen, they had to adapt, and they had to connect the dots in a way that truly fit the realities on the ground. And the challenges were very real. I mean, how do you map a food pantry that doesn't have a street address? How does the whole system work if internet access is spotty? What do you do if the local pantry is really just a few shelves in the back of a gas station? A standard off-the-shelf tech platform just can't solve these problems. So they got creative.
By partnering with a technology called What 3 Words, they found this really elegant solution. This tech can pinpoint any location on the entire planet down to a 10-foot square using just 3 unique words. All of a sudden, a pantry with no street address can be put on the map with perfect accuracy. It's just a brilliant example of adapting tech to solve a very human problem.
So what's the actual long-term value here? Well, a Harvard Business School analysis looked at the impact of a single $100 donation to AmpleHarvest.org. They found that over the course of 20 years, that one donation generates nearly $150,000 worth of fresh produce. That is the incredible power of a truly sustainable solution.
And that's really the big takeaway from all of this. The food was always there. The need was always there. AmpleHarvest.org didn't have to create a new resource. It just had to unleash the one that already existed by making a single, powerful connection. And once that link is made, the impact just grows on its own, year after year after year.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden harvests are out there in our own communities? What other valuable resources are just sitting there, waiting for a simple, smart connection to unlock all their potential?
If you were as inspired by this story as I was, I really encourage you to learn more about their work, especially their thoughtful approach in tribal communities. Thanks so much for tuning in.